To make Bluebeam as streamlined as possible, it's important to make a customized tool chest with the tools that you're constantly going to use. So in this video, we're gonna go over how to upload a tool chest and how to export a tool chest once you create a customized version. And then we're gonna go over how to use the tool chest using keyboard shortcuts. And then finally, how to add additional tools to your tool chest as well. So I have Bluebeam open here. Now, if you haven't watched my customize your ribbon and all that video, I will link it below, but you should watch that first because my tool chest will be on the right. So you'll notice it is on the right side here. Now this just says tool chest, right? How I open it typically is I'll press Alt X. Now how I remember that keyboard shortcut is I think that tool chest is like treasure and X marks the spot for a treasure chest. At least that's what I do in my mind. So I'm gonna press Alt X, so it's like pinky and ring finger. Alt X, that pops it open, and then you can do Alt X to get it to close as well. So it works both ways. So Alt X to get it open, and you'll see you have like an architect view, contractor view, some other stuff. I will be honest with you, I never use any of this stuff because I don't think it's very useful, to be honest. And a lot of this you can memorize the hotkeys for, which are keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to show you how to upload a tool chest. So what you're gonna do is actually grab a tool chest from anywhere you want. I will find a link below for you to download the one that I'm using so you can follow along, or you can grab one off of Bluebeam's website. When I say grab one off of Bluebeam's website, I'm talking about there are select sets here. So if you scroll down, and I will link this in the description below too, you can do mechanical, plumbing, whatever discipline you want, there are tool sets for you. So you can do anything from estimation to mechanical. Let's say you want to do P&ID stuff, you just click this and then it will download, and then you will double click to attach it to Bluebeam. Now these files are going to be .btx files. So anytime you see a .btx file, that is going to be something that is a tool set. Now you can double click it, like literally just click, and it will auto populate into Bluebeam if you have Bluebeam open. This will add it to your tool chest into My Tools. So you'll see here, you can do this arrow, My Tools. So this is my tool chest. It's very specific. It's the one that I've used since I was working for a general contractor. And so we always put together buttons and other things that we like to constantly use, especially when navigating drawings. So let's go ahead and open up a file and kind of play around with it so you can get a feel of how I use my tool chest. So what I like to do to open a file, a lot of people do Control-O to open a file, but I honestly like the drag and drop. I'm a drag and drop person. So all I do is I just take like whatever file, let's just grab this one, I drag it, you'll see the arrow pop up and just drop it in here. I like to do that. It's a lot simpler than actually grabbing it by File Explorer because I have to go find it and I can never remember where I put the freaking thing. So we're just grabbing like a P&ID. This is just one that I completely made up. So what I like to do with the tool chest is they have numbers to them. So if we open this up again, so again, Alt X, open that up, you'll see there's numbers associated with each tool. So 1 is this guy, 2 is this guy, 15 is this one. So what I do, and let me just close this again, Alt X, you're gonna have a blank slate, and if you just press 1, it will pull the tool from your tool chest. And what's great about this is then you get to place it, right? So then you have a markup, and if you want to look at the markup, you have to click this like horizontal arrow and it will show there's a grouping that we made and it's by me and it says the date and what it is. So you can move that anywhere you want. What's great is I like to use my tools usually are buttons. What I mean by that is I usually associate a hyperlink with them. So if I have this guy, I will do a hyperlink over that plain button, so that way if I click it, it goes somewhere. Right now when I click it, it doesn't really do anything. So what I do is I do Shift H, which puts me into hyperlink mode. Now you can see the kind of cursor is a little bit different, and then I basically drag and click and then release the click, and then it says get rectangle, and you can say, you can make this go wherever. I'm just gonna make it go, let's just make it go to the logo. And then press OK. And now you've made a custom button. Now to get out of this view, you press escape. And now when you click that, it takes you to whatever you told it to go to. Obviously I would make it go to the actual plan drawing, but this is just the P&ID. But again, that's what I'm using my tool chest for, is usually for buttons. Most of the time I have a button in my tool chest that has a specific reason. So I have plans, I have PNIDs, I have home buttons, all that. So let me just remove this because I don't need this. So I'm just gonna go back, Shift H to go back in hyperlink mode, delete that, and delete this button. So the other thing I like to do is also 2 is a check. So if I'm counting stuff, I just go check, another 2, check, okay, check, you know, and then you can delete whenever, however you want. So there's a lot of those, like I think 15 I have as a 15, so you do 1, 5, and this will pop up. So if you're like, don't look at this, that's just a reminder for me not to look at that page or not to look at that one specific thing. The other ones, which are nice to have in here, are these arrows. So you can add an arrow. So if you have a basically large sets and this is a plan view and you want to go to the left, the next one, because sometimes they cut it into sections. So it'll be like section A, section B, section C. You can put like a little arrow here and put a hyperlink to the next page that should be to the left of it on a plan drawing. So that's another example that I use constantly. And then I have a signature one, but really it's up to you what you want to have in here. Sometimes it's nice to put like an RFI flag, so you can have a flag in here and then maybe that can link to another page. Or you can add a little revision that goes over something, so you can kind of see this is a rectangle, so if this page was replaced, you can add that. Lots of different options, but it's really dependent on your hyperlinking, how intense you want to do hyperlinking with your document. Now there's 2 ways I like to add to my tool chest. One is actually adding it to the tool chest, and one is actually setting the default. So if I'm constantly using, let's just say I do like let's do like a text box. So I just put T for text box and I have blah blah blah. Now if I want to set this at a certain like font size, if I want this always to be at 48, I'll just right click and press set as default. You don't necessarily need to add it to your tool chest. So now if I press set as default, now next time I press T, it won't be really small, it'll be the same size. So that's one way. I don't need to add the text box or T, right, to get the text box into my tool chest because I know the hotkey for it. So why would I put it in my tool chest when I could just press T anytime? So that's an example of what I wouldn't put in your tool chest. But what you can do is if you're constantly using like a sequence tool or something like that. So if I have, let's say I grabbed this off somewhere and I really like the size of it. Like I have a really small one. This one's a really big one and this one's a really small one. So let's say I wanted like more of a medium size, then I'll just right click and then add this to tool chest. So you'll press add to tool chest. You can put it in these other views. I just keep everything in my tools. And then bam, that adds up as 73. So then you have 3 different sizes. Now you can reorder these if you want, delete them out. I have a bunch of extra stuff in here I do not need. Like some of this stuff I do not use. Like highlight, I can just highlight using H. So it will get messy sometimes, so don't be like me, clean it up. And that's an option that you can do as well if you wanted to add something to your tool chest. Now tool chests come hand in hand with a lot of markups, so I will have a whole video on how to use markups along with hyperlinks. Hyperlinks and markups are probably the most important things when it comes to building it with a tool chest, so I will link those videos in the description below as I film them. I also have a Skillshare class that goes over all the Bluebeam, like introduction to Bluebeam, so feel free to check that out. I know you can do like a 30-day free trial, watch the videos, and then cancel if you want. So check that out. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.